What's up, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, and the overall markets. Just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $2,000, you're guaranteed 30 in total. And the offer ends very soon at the end of March. So anyways, as far as the market is going, I just want to mention that we're looking bullish right now, looking at the 4-hour time frame. But there's going to be a very, very big test on SPY, especially as we approach this resistance. So let's talk about this. What's happening so far? We had Donald Trump make some very important remarks involving his take on these tariffs, how he wants to change policy. I went over all the details in my previous videos. Just watch that if you want to hear what Donald Trump said. I quoted him word for word. But I just want to say that the effect that this is having on the markets, the pump that this helped create for the markets, has lots and lots of momentum, and that his words could still once again affect the way that this market is going to be moving. So for the time being, keep that in mind. The market is once again looking very promising, at least approaching today. For more data, just know that today is Friday, February 14th, 2025. So it's Valentine's Day. It's a happy day, regardless if you have a Valentine or not. Just keep that in mind. But anyways, I want to make it very, very clear that at 9:15 a.m., we have industrial and manufacturing production numbers coming out. Then we have Logan from the Fed giving a speech at 3 p.m. So very minor data. We might see the manufacturing numbers cause some volatility around that time. So this is going to be about 15 minutes before the market opens to look for some volatility. We'll see what that leads to. So just keep that in mind, at least moving forward. And then with Logan's speech, I don't know if that's going to affect the market too much. It might just be very minor, especially towards the end of the day. What matters more is going to be the options chain and what kind of effect we get from that. So just keep that in mind. That's what's likely going to be, affecting us. For other things out there, we also happen to have SPY's max pain. Currently, it's at 600, but that doesn't really matter because you have to also consider that there's a lot of puts expiring. So right now, right now we have over 700 plus thousand of these puts expiring, and we have around 350,000 of these calls expiring. So in total, there's a lot more puts expiring. The market makers are incentivized to try to squeeze shorts, most likely, if we break some key levels and if anything else ends up continuing to develop. But I want to make it very clear that with the 2.09 put to call ratio, if I was a market maker, and if they are trying to squeeze shorts, there's a good chance that this could cause a little rally for the day. We'll see about that just to be safe. And then for other pieces of news, we had Coinbase announce earnings yesterday. I talked about this. And we have Moderna today. Unfortunately, despite the fact that their results were very close to expectations, their full year guidance was a little bit of a miss. So that's the reason why it wasn't as great, especially as growth has been on a decline for the last couple of years. So their overall earnings were decent, but their full year guidance missed its expectations, despite the fact that earnings were so. That being said, that's it for this analysis. We're now just going to focus on the charts. So for SPY, I would recommend just being very unbiased because there was a time we hit 610 and we rejected, 609 rejected. In this case, we're at 610. We're going to be watching to see if we get a rejection or not. So just to be very clear, this is an unbiased analysis. If you break past the all-time high in the 610s, we have the potential to slowly make our way up for that 615 target. I'll be targeting like 615 if the 610s break, so keep that in mind. If we get a rejection here around the like 610 area, we come back down to like 608. If that does not hold us, we're going to be at risk of dipping to about 605. So just keep that in mind as we're stuck in the middle. For now, what I do want to mention is the fact that the chart's looking very strong right now, stronger than what it looked like the last times it was up here. So the more probable possibilities is us getting a breakout above 610s, trying to see a squeeze to 615. That's a bit more probable, but just to be safe, we'll have to wait and see. So like I said before, when you're day trading, just be very unbiased and wait and see which way we break. Do we get a rejection near 610 and start dumping, or do we get a big bounce and start breaking to a new all-time high? We are favoring a bounce for an all-time high and a break past resistance. So we'll see if that ends up being the case. For the QQQ, we look a bit more bullish. Now, keep in mind when you zoom out, right, we have a very clear looking left shoulder ahead and then a right shoulder right over here. And then when you look at this key level up here, we have this like resistance near this 540 area. So from the way I see things, it's very simple. If we could try to get back above 535 and hold it, we're going to likely be favoring 540 very soon. If we don't hold 535, we're going to be at risk of returning back down to 533, then 530. The share price looks bullish, but just to be safe, we have to wait and see. Even though it is more probable we try to push for 540, wait and see just to be safe. For the Russell 2000, as long as you don't lose 225.9, this is favoring 228, so it looks a bit more promising. ES. So the thing about ES is this: we have this like potential breakout right over here. We're trying to break the resistance that happened, and then we had a similar setup where we're starting to see another potential breakout from this flag. So we might be looking for an attempt to break. Now, if we hypothetically lose 61.22 and 6100, we could turn back down. As long as we're above support, though, we could be favoring 61.68 or so for another leg up. That's the more likely possibility. As long as we don't lose 61.22 and 6100, this range of support, we're favoring the upwards direction. If we end up losing that support, we will turn back down. For now, the chart's making like a higher low here. It looks like it wants to push higher. We'll see just to be safe. On NQ, we look a bit more bullish because same setup as the QQQ. We have like a left shoulder, a head, and then a right shoulder. This accumulation favors a push for the 22,400s, but it's very simple. If 22,000 flats fails us and we don't hold 22,000 right here, we're going to be at risk of returning to 21,938. As long as we're above 22,000, we are favoring that we want to go up to about 22,200 or above to much higher levels to where these resistances happen to be. So now let's favor the upside, so just keep that in mind. Bitcoin is range bound right now. We have this resistance near 98,000 and our support's at 95,000 going back and forth. We'll see if we break resistance, so give this some time. For Nvda, we look bullish as long as we don't lose 133. I think this is favoring that if we could hold above 135, we're going for that gap fill at 142 as the most likely possibility. For Tesla, we are looking decent. There is one issue I want to call out though. So we had very tough resistance at 362. Notice we had a rejection. We pushed, rejected, pushed. It took a while to break that. So we're testing very tough resistance at 362 right now. I wouldn't be surprised if Tesla gets a small pullback here. If we come back down to fill this gap, maybe it dips at just a couple of points. Then it might bounce, try to retest 362. If we could break that, we'd go up to 368, potentially even the 370s. If we can't break this, we're going to be at risk of returning to 353. So look for a dip and a bounce and a retest of 362. We'll see if Tesla could break it or not. If we can't, there's going to be a little rejection. So I want to give you guys a warning. It's very tough resistance, and Tesla's going to be fighting for it for now. For other factors out there, we also have Apple. Apple has a triple bottom right over here. We could dip a little bit before it tries to bounce here. So we're looking for an attempt to get back up towards this imbalance. So we're looking for a small dip right here, and we'll see if we break out. As long as we're above 240, we're looking for an attempt to get back up to like 246. Overall, it's more bullish looking, but we'll see just to be safe. So what's going to likely happen is we might pull back just a bit here to our key fib level. So the support right here near 240. I want to see it hold 240. If we lose it, we could be dipping to 235. But as long as we try to hold around this 240 area, we could still bounce and slowly make our way back up like this. To make a full recovery back up to 246, we have like a triple bottom structure. Looks a bit more bullish to me. For many more, we have Coinbase. Dipping a bit, might be retesting 290 to eventually 283 if that fails. And we'll see if we bounce. Amazon might be retesting like 227 before it tries to rebound as well for 230. Meta might be retesting 720. We'll see if we bounce off this or not. So I think we could be dipping just a bit towards like 725 to 720. We'll see if we bounce. As long as we hold 720, we're bullish. This will continue to uptrend for the 730s. If we lose 720, we're looking for a dip to like 715 to 710. I think this chart's favoring upside though for the 730s. As long as we don't lose 720, there's a good chance it tries to bounce and continues to push. Microsoft is barely holding support at 409. We'll have to see if that holds. If it does hold, we could be looking for a break to 410 plus. And Google, we could be looking for a rebound right here. If we break past 188, we're looking for 190. If it rejects, we're looking for support around 185. So it could go either way, but I'm favoring upside a bit more. With that being said, guys, that's it for my video. The market's looking bullish. It's favoring upside, especially with all the shorts expiring. But just to be safe, like I said before, despite this, let's be unbiased with our approach upon open and wait and see which way we end up breaking. I do want to mention the chart's favorite upwards direction. So give this the time it needs, and I'll see you guys very soon in the next one. Thank you for listening, and peace out.